London calling. The voice is coming in. The world is all politics in England. Those are the lyrics, right? I'm pretty sure those are the lyrics by Joe Strummer, who strummed his guitar. I don't know. Welcome, everyone, to my follow up for London Calling, a magnificent album that did way more for pop than I think people realize or maybe even give it credit for. This is like, is it a great punk album? No, I think it's a great new wave album, honestly. Are there punk elements here? Sure. Are there reggae, ska elements here? Sure. But I see this album as having, honestly, a very strong pop appeal most of the time, which is kind of stunning. But it also bridges over to that punk and that rock aspect where there's friction, there's texture, there's urgency. We'll get into it all. So I have it here at about a 4 out of 5. It might be, I might move it up to a 4.5 at some point just because of like the monumental aspect of this album, just as an album. Because sometimes, like, I tend to be someone who, like, I'll kind of average the score of the whole album against the songs, unless an album kind of rises beyond, like, the sum of its parts. That happens sometimes. And I feel like this is probably one of them that does it, even though there's tracks on here that are kind of weak. I feel that way about, like, 69 Love Songs. Something that's, like, very long, has quite a few duds on it, but the amount of great tracks make it more than the sum of its parts. So anyway, London Calling, solid way to kick off this mammoth album. Punk, it has that atmospheric post-punk flavor. Brand New Cadillac, not a bad track. I'm just not super into like surfy rockabilly. There's not a whole lot of like musical variety in like that more like surf punk kind of stuff, because it's all just Miserlou and everything else. Cool variety, genre-wise, though. Jimmy Jazz, I remember being surprised at that, like, plucky little acoustic guitar strum early on in the track. However, like, a ska-flavored New Orleans R&B tune wouldn't be the end of the surprises, that's for sure. This one's fun, but it's not really a go-to for me. Hateful. I like the tone and energy on this one, and that chorus is catchy as hell. Their prowess in like melody, melodic rhythm, and its interplay with the percussion is shown here really well, as with other tracks. I talked about that in their reaction. It's just some of the best catchy melody writing I've heard that isn't just overly syrupy and overly indulgent and overly catchy. Like you listen to like Rudy Can't Fail or Spanish Bombs, and it's like extremely catchy, but also like a little unexpected and strange here and there with like vocal quirks, you know? Speaking of, Rudy Can't Fail, it's just fun. It's irresistible. I love that stilted rhythm of the guitar riff. It almost feels like a math rock song. Simple, but like such a bouncy tune. Spanish Bombs. 1979 jangle pop, yes please. I always find it interesting when a band or artist decides to go with something light sounding and melodic for like serious topics lyrically. It's always interesting contrast, and it kind of sticks out to me. Great track. The Right Profile, Montgomery Clift, honey. It's not a bad track, but it's like a little too sensational for me, though. It's like, it's like, oh, this song is sassy. The instrumental's fun, though. Lost in the Supermarket. Possibly like the pinnacle of this album, don't you think? I can see this track informing so many of those like confessional indie rock slash pop sensibilities going into the 80s. It's really def stuff. It's like Lost in the Supermarket is like further back on the road of stuff that like the Smiths would do, you know, as far as like that kind of like self-reflection, introspective, confessional kind of lyrics that you would get more of in the 80s than were in the 70s. Clampdown, not really into this track. It just kind of feels like basic punk, and it doesn't feel like it serves the album well apart from just like adding some variety. I don't know, that might be my most controversial statement. I know people dig Clampdown. I don't know, I guess it's kind of like fun, but like it's just a little repetitive, and I've never been taken in by that kind of music, I guess. Guns of Brixton, another track that I'm not super into, although I actually think it's far superior to Clampdown. Reggae flavored political music from 1979 England is just like too far outside my wheelhouse, I guess. I don't know. Wrong Boyo, I won't deny that this is a fun bop. I don't seek it out, but it's not bad. Death or Glory, this one grew on me upon re-listens. It's like fun, chunky power pop riffs. It's a simple track, but it really does the job. Coca-Cola, probably my least favorite on the album. It's just kind of all over the place, not catchy. It could have been left off in my opinion. The Card Cheat is by far my favorite track on the album. I love the huge wall of sound texture and the simplicity of that melodic motif. Doom, 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 doom. Entertaining lyrics as well. It's stellar. I adore that track. Has so much of what I love about what you can do with music and what you can achieve, and it just like scratches my itch. Lovers Rock. I enjoy this more than Revolution Rock, but it's still not a track I'd opt for. The vocals are catchy and vibey though. Four Horsemen is another somewhat kind of dull punk track to me. The choruses are nice though. I'm Not Down is cool, even if it's not really a favorite. That descending guitar riff is nice. I think I mentioned what it reminded me of in the review, and now I've forgotten. That, like, descending guitar line, like, I think another band or artist, like, kind of did something similar later down the road. I don't remember. Revolution Rock, really not a bad track, honestly. It's just a strong taste, and it ain't my thing. Train in Vain. A fun outro track that grew on me a ton. I've listened to it a lot. The catchy vocals with all the quirks are a lot of fun. Nice way to end things out. So, yeah, this is what? It's like 24, 25? It's 24 tracks, I think. And there's like there's two that I think are not that great. There's 1, 2, 3... 4, 5 that I could take or leave. And honestly, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks on here that I really, really like. And that might seem like a little extreme to put it that way. But I don't know. I think it's fantastic. Favorites are Rudy Can't Fail, Spanish Bombs, Lost in the Supermarket, Death or Glory, The Card Cheat, and Train in Vain, with shout outs to London Calling, Hateful, and that's it. The rest I could take or leave. But yeah, fantastic album. Everyone needs to hear it. I think it set in motion how pop and rock can interplay in the 80s and set the stage for some amazing music in the 80s. But that's my humble opinion. And that's it. Thank you all so much for watching my follow-up to London Calling. I hope you all enjoyed. Until next time, Godspeed.